Freedom. What is freedom? Would ones agree that forgiveness is freedom? Freedom from the shackles of resentment, the shackles of anger, the shackles of hurt. Freedom. Freedom of forgiveness. And what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? If one was to share with another what true forgiveness is, what would the words be? Forgiveness is when one forgives another. But what is it? And why is it that not everyone extends or offers forgiveness? In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. Forgiveness comes from a place deep within that one must search for, that one must bring forth. No one can make another one forgive. Ones can ask to be forgiven, but truly it is out of their control whether the other or the one they are asking or the ones they are asking will forgive. It truly is from within. And why is forgiveness difficult? Why does it take time to forgive another? Why does one hang on to the upset instead of presenting forgiveness? Ones can carry anger and resentment a lifetime, decades, years, months. And others, they let go. They find within the world of forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is for oneself and only for oneself. It is not for the one that has caused the pain or the one that is asking for forgiveness or the situation that needs to be forgiven. It truly is a gift for oneself. A gift for oneself. Often ones choose, and it is a choice. It is hard to hear because ones will say, "What do you mean I'm to forgive this horrendous act? How can I forgive such tragedy?" And we understand that there are levels, if you will, of experiences that present different levels, that require different levels of forgiveness. When ones are faced with the decision to forgive another or others, an event, a situation, fill in the blank. If ones are presented a space to bring forth forgiveness, why would ones choose to be shackled to the pain and the burden when one does not wish, desire to forgive? Forgiveness creates a space, if you will. Pure forgiveness in the truest sense of the word, the truest sense of the feeling, the truest sense of extension of forgiveness, where truly all things are forgiven. There is a space of pure light. And we want to share that when ones feel the space of forgiveness, true forgiveness, ones can be on their knees in tears of gratitude, feeling such enlightenment, feeling such expansion into the vastness. One's heart truly heals. One's heart truly expands into the fullness of all one is, which is eternal love, eternal light. So if forgiveness is so powerful, why would ones choose not to forgive? Oh, no, it's not a choice. How can I forgive my spouse for doing what he or she did? How can I forgive? How can I forgive one for leaving me? How can I forgive myself for leaving one that perhaps I shouldn't have? Forgiving another and forgiving oneself. Pieces of the whole. For when ones find the space to forgive another, but do not find a space to forgive oneself, ones are still carrying or shackled too. So let us talk about forgiving oneself, because that is sometimes more difficult to experience, to bring forth. Love for oneself, compassion for oneself, forgiveness for oneself. Some find it easier to love another than to love oneself, to find compassion for another than to find compassion to oneself, to find forgiveness to another, to find forgiveness to oneself. So why is it difficult to forgive oneself? Why would ones choose to carry the burdens that not forgiving brings? And the answer lies deep within one's being. We speak about the layers that cover up one's brilliant light of who they truly are. And it is in these layers that experiences create the layers, and experiences will hold the layers in place. And when ones truly are harsh upon oneself, judgment upon oneself, not forgiving oneself, and fill in the blank, there are millions of reasons ones find fault with themselves. So let us say you are desiring to bring forth forgiveness and you don't know how. It is not about knowing how. It isn't something that you can read about and apply. It isn't a math problem, if you will, a puzzle to solve. One cannot teach another how to forgive. One truly has to bring it forth from within. So what is forgiveness? We're back to the question we first started with. What is it, and where does it live? If one has to bring it forth, then would ones agree that forgiveness is deep within? You cannot go outside yourself and find forgiveness. It cannot be purchased. It cannot be brought by another. It cannot. Ones cannot hand you forgiveness on a silver platter. You have to find it from within with your own desire to do so. So what is it? When we speak about your inner brilliance, your inner essence, your God within, the light that you hold, the love that is you, and we have often asked, Where were you before physical form? And where will you be after physical form? And most would agree that one's transition from Mother Earth to the great heavens in the pureness of light. Most would agree that one's transition into a space of deep eternal love. So if that's where one's reside, if you will, after physical form, would it not hold true that ones are coming from that place when they enter physical form? So in this light, in this love that is one's authentic self, one's soul, one's inner essence, one's God within, name it what you will, holds joy. It also holds compassion. It also holds forgiveness. It holds wisdom, and it holds forgiveness. When ones think about wisdom, how does one obtain wisdom? Is it through experiences? Is it brought forth into physical being? Wisdom, ones have to bring it forth. Joy, happiness, if you will, comes from within. Ones feel that it is in the outside experience, happiness delivered to one, and truly it is not. It is held within. So in this loving light of forgiveness, would one's embrace, if you will, the sharing that forgiveness is pure. We want to say light, but we don't want to overuse the word. Forgiveness is the expansion of the universe. Now that sounds big, and it is. But when ones find forgiveness deep within their being, deep in their heart, deep in their soul, truly ones will say, I had tears streaming down my cheeks. I have never felt so connected in the oneness of creation. I have never felt the extension. I felt euphoric. I felt expansive. I felt beyond myself when I let all the burdens go. When I brought forth forgiveness in its purest form, forgiveness where nothing matters about what was delivered, meaning that all is forgiven, meaning all is forgiven. When ones find that space, the expansion of one's being, of one's light, of one's heart, truly extends outward. And when it extends outward, it creates, if you will, a ripple effect, not a buzzword. It is so true. It's a vibration. Forgiveness holds an intense vibration. And with it, when the vibration goes out, if you will, onto the planet, into the vastness, the pureness of forgiveness expands into the light of your light expanding into the light in the oneness. And in that moment, there is the deepest understanding of who you truly are. Ones will say, I felt so much love. I have never felt so free in all my life as when I let go of the shackles that held me down because I was so unforgiving. And when I felt pure forgiveness, when I found it, when I brought it forth, when I experienced it, when I truly experienced it, I felt a peacefulness I have never experienced. I felt love so pure. I felt light. I felt expansion. I felt whole. I felt complete. And when ones feel that, would you not, we want to be gentle here, but could you see how when ones transition into the heavens, ones will often say, it is such expansive light, no pain, no heartache, just the pureness of pure, the expansion of expansion, the wholeness in the oneness. And oh, forgiveness is just like that. So why would ones not want to experience that? Or ones will say, oh, I forgive, but I'm not going to forget. Is that true forgiveness? Even if one, let us just be mild, and one has caused upset to your travel, and they have come to you and they have offered deep sorrow. I am truly sorry for what I have caused, the pain that I have caused you. I was not aware of the pain I had caused or would have caused in my actions, or I would never ever have done what I have done. I don't know why I did what I did. I am asking for forgiveness. I am asking that you find a place in your heart to forgive me. And in that moment, the other has the choice. And even if ones say, I understand, I've made mistakes myself, or what we feel are mistakes. I understand, and if you have learned from the experience, I will find a place of forgiveness. But the words have to match deep within. For if the words are just the desire and only the words, and after a few days, if you will, it starts to creep up and it's brought forth again, and one goes over all the hurt that was caused, and one goes over all the pain that was caused, and then they find that place of resentment and anger, if even for a moment. That is when the words do not match the forgiveness that comes forth in the pureness of light. So again, define forgiveness. Well, it is when you forgive another. It is when all is forgiven. It's forgiveness. When your inner essence radiates with light of forgiveness, and it matches, if you will, the words, oh, it is pure. It is pure. When ones find the pureness of forgiveness, they deeply understand the feeling that goes with it. So one wants to forgive. They have extended forgiveness. The other has apologized or being mild, and it's extended. But if ones do not feel the expansion of one's heart, the fullness, the relief, the release, if ones do not feel as though all is washed away in the pureness, then it is not complete, if you will. It is a brilliant effort to bring it forth. But if the feeling of complete letting go is not present, somewhere within it is not truly forgiven. It can be forgiven on the surface. Ones could travel years believing, if you will, they've forgiven another, but truly when another does something just a little off, I should have known better, they did that before, and it goes on. Pure forgiveness truly is the expansion of one's inner light. And when that is felt, when one deeply understands the expansion, it is the best wording. If you were to speak to one that has truly had the expansion of forgiveness, they will use the word. They will say, I have never felt my heart so big. In the creation of forgiveness, because one is bringing it forth, therefore it is a creation. When one has created the experience of pure, honest, if you will, forgiveness, the universe will provide, will expand back to you great miracles. It cannot be helped, if you will. When we talk about this expansion into the vastness, it is an openness and it is a oneness. And in the oneness of creation, when you create the creation of forgiveness and it truly expands into the oneness of divine creation, there is a dance, if you will, and we do not want to say a reward, for one's truly cannot just do it and expect a reward, expect a miracle, because it's not coming from the place of pureness. It is like gratitude. Gratitude in the purest form creates miracles. Absolutely, hands down. But if one's expressed gratitude without the deep feeling of gratitude, again, like when one's expressed forgiveness without the deep feeling of forgiveness, it isn't the same. It does not hold the same vibration. It is a high vibration, yes, a high vibration of one's pulling forth, if you will, the action, the experience of gratitude. But if ones are truly just sort of repeating the words and not truly feeling the sense of gratitude, doing an exercise, if you will, I am grateful for, and they're just rhyming off these poems, if you will, I am grateful for, fill in the blank. But if ones truly do not feel the purest sensation of gratitude, it is words that does not match the feeling of expansion. So when ones expand, one's light, by forgiveness and gratitude, we can place joy. Compassion is the same. Kindness is the same. You can be kind to your neighbor, but if you truly do not enjoy your neighbor, the feeling does not match it. You're being kind to the neighbor because your mother told you to do such a thing. It's not the same. It is words not matched with the feeling. Just ponder that. Think about it. Ponder. So when ones find the purest sense of forgiveness and gratitude, and so many will say, the depths of the gratitude that I felt when I forgave. And in this expansion, ones will say, the ones that caused the most hurt in my life, robbed me of my existence. Tragedy that I could not ever imagine could be forgiven. When I found the place of forgiveness, pure forgiveness, it brought me to my knees. And I felt compassion. I felt compassion for the one that caused all the upset. And when I was in the space of the pureness and the wholeness and the oneness of the highest consciousness, I felt gratitude for the one that presented such heartache. Because without the experience, I could not have experienced what this expansion of forgiveness truly feels like. One's blossom into such a higher level of creation when one's truly forgive one that has caused great amounts of pain, fill in the blank. When we speak about miracles being extended forth in the creation of forgiveness in its purest form, the miracle is the gratitude for the experience, because in the unfolding of it all, one is so expansive they can never return to their old self. They can never return to the anger and to the resentment. They cannot return to the shackles. They cannot return to the upset and havoc. They cannot return to the judgment. They cannot return to where they were standing. For it is sort of like standing, walking along, and then finding this expansive place to be in all places, if you will, the expansion of light. Ones don't want to go back to the, we don't want to use the word smallness, but to the restrictions of. When we say expansive, we're not kidding. It is eternal expansiveness. Where does that go? Into the vastness? Where does the vastness start? Where does it begin? Where does it end? Well, it is eternal. It is vast. And so is the vibration of forgiveness. So is the vibration of forgiveness. So when one's experience it in its purest form, there is no going back to one's old self. There is no going back to the life that was once lived. Absolutely not. And that is part of the miracle, because when ones have the space of pure forgiveness, they expand into the beauty of all. And there is no comparison. There are truly no words to share what forgiveness will bring to one's soul as they walk on Mother Earth. Ponder the words. No one can make you forgive yourself or another or an event or a loss. Fill in the blank. No one can make you do it. You can hear the words this day, but if it does not come from within, the words shared are words shared. I don't know how to forgive, one will say, not after what has happened. I can't at all find a space for forgiveness. That is when ones have to go in search deep within through the layers of human experience. And we understand there are layers so deep, and experience on top of experience, layer on top of layer. How can anyone find forgiveness if they have to find forgiveness on every layer that is presented, if you will, that is covering one's inner brilliance? But it truly can be done. It truly is yours to hold. The experience has been given, if you will. The wisdom arrived with you. The wisdom to bring forth forgiveness arrived with you. Forgiveness is held within. It doesn't go anywhere. It is held along with joy, along with compassion, along with love, along with light. It is in this great search where you discover the greatest part of who you are. Your brilliant, authentic, magnificent, perfect self. Ponder the words. Only you can bring forth compassion and joy and love and kindness and forgiveness in its purest form, in the purest light that it is all held in, within your soul, within your being. Free yourself. Free yourself and become the expansion that you are. For in the experience, you will discover the greatest miracles. We are not kidding. Remove the shackles. Allow freedom. Be free. Be free to be your authentic self in the purest light of who you are. There is great love for you.